Okay, welcome to tonight. Nice night before Christmas Eve. So we are going to get back into going through what's involved with sales calls. And there's a bit to cover. There's a bit to cover overall, but tonight we're just going to go through the rest of those slides that I was showing yesterday. And really look at what's involved, and we will get back into it now. Sorry, I'm just trying to stop the music. It's a little bit distracting. Okay, so let me share the slides. And before I do, my name is Harshay. For those of you who do not know me, I'm from Cindog Media, where we help you to market even better. If you want to reach us about your sales calls or anything sales or marketing related, you can get in touch at contact by emailing contact@cindogmedia.com. You can SMS or phone 0426 794 189. That's in Australia. So please add the +61 if you want to reach out to me over mobile if you're texting from overseas or phoning from overseas. So that's +61 426 794 189. Or you can simply visit our website, cindogmedia.com, and there's a little chat icon at the bottom that'll pop up where you can send us a message. So let's get back into going through those slides on the sales calls. Just a quick recap of last night's presentation, or the slides that we went through. We looked at mindset and emotion, and that's pivotal, to laying the foundation for your sales calls before you start. If you want more depth in these slides, please go back to part 1 of the video that I created yesterday. So the introduction, we'll introduce the call, establish certainty in the mind of the customer, set the frame for the conversation and expectations, qualify the customer, go through the solutions. That's what we got up to. Present the options available. Close by asking the customer to select from these options, clarify what the next steps are, and a referral incentive. So when we went through the introduction to the call, establishing certainty in the mind of the customer, setting the frame for the conversation and expectations to the customer, and qualifying the customer. So it's going to be a right fit. And going through the solution based on the customer's requirements. So basically tailoring the presentation to address the specific needs and challenges uncovered during the qualification process. So let's get into today's material, which is really about presenting the options available. And I'm going to hit the slideshow. So we go into full screen, and I know confidently from our check yesterday that you will be able to see this full screen. So presenting the different options to cater for the customer's needs. Now, we went through, when you're qualifying the customer, you found out what those needs are. So at this point, for each of the options that you have available in terms of a product, it's important to articulate, how that particular problem is solved. So you highlight any features, you elaborate on the positive effects of those features for the customer's business based on what you uncovered earlier. So it's there's a little bit of, thinking on your feet, but once you do this a few times, you become intuitive. It's like having a conversation, right? It's a two-way conversation. Most of the time you're doing a lot of listening on these calls. It's the more speaking you're doing, the less of the sales side of you are actually doing. You're uncovering that information, and you're then delivering a solution based on the customer's needs. So it's important that the solution that you provide addresses that specific problem it solves. It highlights the features, and also you elaborate on the positive effects of those features for the customer's business. You provide a clear comparison between the options to help the customer make an informed decision. This empowers the customer by giving them choices while showcasing the depth and versatility of the products and services. So, if you have a little bit of a few options available, it's important to be able to articulate how those different options cater for different scenarios. So once you've done that for each of the options that you've got available, then you close by asking the customer to select from those options. Now you've basically given them the solution, what you're able to solve for the customer, and then you close by asking the customer to select from those options. So it's really the customer's decision at this point to go, okay, I'll pick option 1 or option 2, and then guide the conversation towards a decision by inviting the customer to choose from those options that best aligns with the goals and preferences. Use persuasive language that emphasize the benefits of those options. Now, you've got to be really careful here. Now, I know I've included that. However, the only caveat here is you don't want to use persuasive language when the solution is obviously not going to help the customer in the long run. And if at this point, it's better to just say, hey, this is not going to solve your problem, because they'll have a lot more greater respect for you, and they may even come on board and choose your product because you've been completely honest with them. This is not the exact solution, but we can get you to as close to it as possible. Or, there's XYZ business over there who really can solve exactly what you're looking for, but this is what we can provide. I would, at the risk of, ruining your reputation, go down and sell a solution that's not going to help them. Why would you do that, right? Again, we're building the business. We're not just in it for the short-term gain of a sale. This is a long-term relationship that you are looking to build with that customer. So be prepared to address any lingering concerns or questions, and ensure that the customer feels confident and comfortable with their decision. At this point, you may even bring up some of the things that you think the customer may, if they're not articulating some problems, you may go, hey, I know you might be thinking about this, but this is how we, these are some of the concerns other customers have shown, and this is how we address it. So it's at this point, it's better to, I believe anyway, better to be upfront and say, what about in this scenario? This is what we do. And I know, you may have this concern, and this is what we do here to solve that or to address that. A clear and decisive closing statement sets the stage for the next step in the sales process. So let's go to the next step, which is clarify what the next steps are for the customer to come on board. So clearly outline the next steps for the customer to move forward. Once they've made that decision, I'm going to go with option A. What is it that they have to do to get on board? This is really, I think, the pivotal point of the sale. And if you don't articulate this, you may even lose the sale. You might have done all the work and the customer's ready to buy, and you don't articulate, hey, you need to make this deposit or go to this form and register, or I'll take your details down now and I'll register you in, and you send the invoice or whatever. So at this point, it's important to very clearly state what that next step is, whether it's signing a contract, making a purchase, or scheduling a follow-up meeting. Provide a step-by-step process to proceed forward. My assistant will call you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. and go through, the registration to bring you on board. And generally we expect a payment within the next 7 days. They'll issue an invoice, and if at that point the customer may bring up whatever they need to, and then you clarify what needs to be done in terms of money and payment processes and so forth. Clarify any documentation or information required from the customer, and reiterate your commitment to assisting them through the onboarding process. It's pretty straightforward. This clarity not only streamlines the customer's journey, but it also reinforces the professionalism and dedication to customer support. So this is, I think, very important part of the sales process or the sales call, because it gives the customer confidence how to move forward. And lastly, at this point, we'd offer a referral incentive. This is, at this point, it's a nice final touch to express the gratitude for the customer coming on board, making that decision, and you extend this offer to them to refer the product or service to others in their network. It might be a family, it might be a friend, it may be a colleague, and you offer them some kind of incentive such as discount, an extra month free, couple of months free, exclusive access to the next tier program, as a token of your appreciation. This is not only encourages the customer's loyalty, but it also leverages on the positive expectation to potentially expand the customer base through word of mouth referrals. So this is a very easy win-win-win for you, your business, the customer, as well as whoever they bring on board. Ensure the customer understands the benefits of sharing their positive experience with family and friends who might also benefit from this offering. Obviously, the family or friend need this service, and they'd be in a good position to know if they would benefit from that at this point. And they're, on an emotional level, when they are signing up, they're at a very, they're at a high. There's a couple of times in businesses, in business relationships, when you either ask for a testimonial or a referral, and firstly is the sign-up process. Secondly is when you deliver something and they're like, wow, that's great. So those two times, it's important to leverage and ask for those things that you've done a great job. Ask for that testimonial, ask for those referrals. Don't hold back, because that is the time to do it. Not later when, months gone past or a couple of months have gone past and that the high of that emotion has come back to all the other problems the customer faces in their life, not just what you've delivered, but they've got all these other things on their plate. So while it's fresh in their mind, it's important to go and ask them for those referrals, for those testimonials. So that's pretty much the end of this slide pack and the introduction to sales calls. We went through that tonight pretty quickly. However, what we're going to get onto over the next few, presentations on the sales calls process is really looking at some templates, having a bit of a play with ChatGPT, how to tweak those sales calls templates for different scenarios, and really, what are some etiquettes, what are some things to do before the sales calls, during the sales calls, so you make it the best possible call you can make for every single call. And also, how do you track these calls? What kind of information do you need to track on these calls, and as well as what are some targets you set? So we're going to go through all that over the next few videos. We're going to keep this one very short tonight. It's coming up to Christmas. I know everyone's probably already in holiday mode, but I'm going to continue doing these videos just to support your business moving forward to 2024, and you can leverage off, come back and watch these videos. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out on WhatsApp on 0426 794 189. Overseas, that's +61 426 794 189. If you need some help, again, with your sales calls, developing your scripts, just what tools to use, etc., in terms of tracking these calls, what technology to use. If you need someone to actually do those sales calls, reach out to us at contact@cindogmedia.com. Again, our phone number, you can phone or SMS 0426 794 189, or you can head on over to our website and use the chat feature and send us a message with your name, email, and message, and we'll get back to you. So thanks for joining in, and I'll catch you on the next video.